Hi, it's Peet and Reet, and you know what? It's been a lot of politics lately. And,
a lot.
You know, we do entertainment stuff, but right now, for us here in Ontario,
And the States.
and the state,
We're
yes,
talking about that
yeah,
too.
Exactly. I think it's pretty important. And yesterday, in town came the Premier, Kathleen Wynne. Big anticipated event where she was going to tell us why we were paying so much for hydro, about the selling of hydro. And Wayne, you were invited to come over at Wayne Gates, MPP, for the Niagara riding. And always a pleasure to have you here. And,
I love coming. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, we'll tell you that I have no interest in party politics anymore. I'm done. I'm looking for the person that's going to stand up for us.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And so far, you're the guy that's been
Representing.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
So your opinion of the rally?
I thought the rally was poorly attended for what it was hyped to be. The big newspaper issues were, well, she's going to address hydro. That's why I went. And I knew about the rally. I thought I had an obligation to go over and say hi to the people that are standing up for their right to rally and get their message out as well. And so yesterday was, to me, quite frankly, was a little disappointed in the end result. Well, I kind of agree with yourself. I actually think that her speech that she gave prior to the questions should have addressed it, hydro, with a lot more talk around where their government is, why they did it, all that kind of stuff. I thought she should have talked about the Niagara region, around our hospital, around Fort Erie, around the tourist sector. I thought because it ended up being really a Niagara event, because she's going to all the other communities in Niagara, I thought it could have been done different. And you know, the questions were, I guess in my kind of thinking, they were softball.
Now, we are so far ahead in the grid right now, and her excuse yesterday was, well, we have a faulty system, it had to be fixed, and that's why everything's running right now. Yet, I remember politicians telling us a few years back when we were having brownouts and conserve electricity, it wasn't because of that, it was because we were using so much and that we had to cut back. Now, that's all BS.
But when we cut back, then we have to pay for it because we didn't use enough. And then it costs us more. So why should we cut back? It just is irritating.
Well, the reality is that this whole mess started in 2002. Without being too political on your show, because I know you don't like me doing that, it really started under the Conservatives. That's when it started, when they started the privatization. And then the Liberals kind of carried it through on the privatization. And that's really what got us into the problem we have. And then they did the Green Energy Act. I don't think there's anybody, other than, quite frankly, probably the Conservatives, that don't believe that we have to do something to protect our environment. I've got, just so you know, I have 3 daughters, wonderful daughters. I have 5 grandkids. I want to make sure that when I leave this earth, that they're going to have clean water, clean air, and I think we're seeing storms.
And an affordable life.
And an affordable life. And so the Green Energy Act really, I think if you take a look at it, was something that you could support, because who doesn't want to have clean air and clean water? The issue became that they decided to sign long-term contracts at unbelievably amount of money. And that got us into trouble. No secret, I came out of the union movement. That was my role. If I would have bargained one contract as bad as the green energy contracts, they would have thrown me out of office so quick, make my head spin. Because of the high dollar, a lot of manufacturers left, which a lot of the hydro that we needed, we didn't need anymore because our plants were empty. They were closing. They're going to Mexico. They're going to southern states.
Right.
So that was another issue. So now what you have is you have these contracts that you got to pay a lot of money to, and to get out of them is going to cost you billions of dollars.
Is it true that the wind turbines, whether they turn or not, Samsung is getting paid $4,000 a day? Is that a true statement?
I don't have the facts, and you know, I'm not going to come here and tell you that I do, but what I do know is that we're paying for hydro, whether it be the wind turbines, they're getting paid. I don't know the exact amount. I don't know if it's 49 cents, 80 cents, or whether it's $4,000 a day, but they get paid.
Listen, I'm all about it, and kudos to them for getting rid of coal fire. Okay, I'm all about that because it is a problem. But let's look at the footprint of Canada and Ontario. It's 1.83% of the world, and remember that we are also reclaiming, including other people's carbon, in through our green system because we have huge amounts, vast amounts of green area. 30 to 33% of that goes back into the ground, recycled, like carbon and biology works together, right? So the reality is, and she mentioned it yesterday, saying, but per capita,
Yeah.
we use so much. Listen, when you're in at 1.83% of what the world's producing, I think we're being really good. And I think we're getting better, too.
I'm trying to think, what was her comment that was in the paper this morning? Something about we're not very good stewardess or something.
Oh, yes.
What was that
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
And somehow it was all our fault?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen,
I did read that this
government decided what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. They got us into debt. We didn't do it. We put you people in there to say, hey, you need to take care of us. And guess what? It's not our fault. It's not our fault we're driving the cars we're doing. It's not our fault for any of this. It's decisions made by government and what they put forward. And they have to be accountable. It has to go back to the government. They have to be accountable.
Well, it's a government that has gone down the privatization road. Quite frankly, that's what's got us into a mess. We put a motion forward just last week that both the Liberals and Conservatives voted against on stopping the privatization of Hydro One and even municipalities. So that's the reality. If you take a look at, they're trying to say they're selling it for infrastructure. And I'm not a business guy, I come out of a factory. But
You don't have to be.
When I take a look at, they're making approximately $1 billion a year with the profits from Hydro One. And where does that money go? Right? It's not going to my wallet or your wallet. What it's supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
it's going back into infrastructure, it's going back into our healthcare system, and it's going back into our publicly funded education system. So if I'm looking at that, I know that I'm gonna have $1 billion for the next 25 years, 50 years, whatever it works out.
Probably
to be.
Yeah.
climbing.
And it'll
Yeah.
probably go up. And I know it's going to be reinvested into Ontario, reinvested into my communities, reinvested into research for healthcare. Why would I sell that? Why would I give that away? And what we're seeing, or we believe, they're giving it away to their friends who are going to make that $1 billion.
Yep.
Shareholders are going to make some money, but it's at the expense of affordability of single moms, single dads, families, small business, manufacturers, whether they're big or small. All those people are now saying, we can't do this anymore. And when I look at it, I say, well, why did you do it in the first place? Why are you selling off Hydro One?
Yeah.
Our position today, because they're up to 30%, we're saying to the Wynne government, and quite frankly to the Conservative government now, because they support it, why not stop at 30%? So when you have 80%, think about this, 80%, I think it's called over 80% now, but I'll use 80% because it's a round number. 80% of the residents of the province of Ontario are saying, don't sell it.
The
Why-
people.
The people.
The people are saying.
Why you're not listening to them. And then even on a bigger scale, the same municipalities are saying the same thing. There's over 200, I think it's 240 municipalities that voted. Elected city councilors have voted to say, don't sell Hydro One. But the big issue for me is that if they're so proud of the fact that they have the support to sell it, then why didn't they come to the residents of the province of Ontario and put it on a ballot question and say, look, we own Hydro One. We think that it's better if we do this, this, and this with Hydro One, so we can do this, this, and this, but have us at least vote on it. We own it, by the way. You own it, I own
Yeah.
it.
Every one of us.
Did Wynne
We get-
yesterday come up to anybody and say, look, I know you own it, but you don't mind me selling 60% of it
Yeah.
on your behalf?
Shouldn't even mention it.
On
That's
your
the
No.
problem.
on your
No,
behalf.
and that's
So
what I think
that's
most.
the issue.
I think that's
agree.
what most residents are so ticked off about is we have no say in this.
In this riding, my riding, okay, there's 6,000 people behind on their hydro bill.
Wow.
6,000.
That
In the
is-
province
that's a
of
sad situation.
It's terrible because it's a necessity. It's not like I can't think. 67,000 people in the province of Ontario are behind on their hydro bill.
Wow.
That's a disgrace in a province that is so rich. And when you talk about the manufacturing base that I come out of, General Motors, the plant manager at a United Way function, quite frankly, went to United Way function, celebrate their campaign. They raised $3.1 million, great for them. She called me over and she said, Gatesy, you got to do something about hydro rates. Hydro rates are our biggest concern in Ontario. And this is the plant manager. Now they just got a collective agreement. They've done some things there, but at the end of the day, She's coming to me. I'm not going to her. She's calling me over at a not-for-profit celebration and saying hydro rates are making us make decisions based on where we're going to invest in the province of Ontario.
I'm going to give you 20 seconds here
Okay.
to look right in that camera and tell
Okay.
people what they need to do, because I know they're confused, they're scared. We know that we only had 30 people show up to protest.
Yeah.
Not, according to Premier Wynne, nobody was there. She's wrong because
Yeah.
she went in and out the back door. What can they do to help themselves? And they really do have to help themselves here. What can they do?
I think they have to continue doing what they're doing. I think the government is feeling lots of pressure on the hydro crisis, and continue doing what you're doing. Call your MPPs. If there is a rally, get out there and show their thing. I believe, and I'll use two examples, the autism. Doesn't end at 5, where we started petitions, and the government has backed down on autism. When they're going to increase the prices of senior drugs, double, by the way, and then we decided to start a petition. It started actually in Fort Erie, was the first place it started. The petitions got some momentum. The senior groups got some momentum, and they pressured the government. What the government do? They backed down. We have to continue to keep up the pressure to have the Wynne government do something around hydro costs. Has to be done. We can't go on living like this. We can't go on having year after year increases of $200 and $300 on our bills. We just can't afford it. So continue doing what you're doing. Support the people that are saying it's a wrong move, it's a crisis, let's fix it.
All right, Wayne, always.
My pleasure.
Thanks
for
so
being
much.
here.
It's wonderful.
All right, it's been a pleasure to have our MPP for Niagara on the show today, and I think you've learned a lot, and I think if you've learned anything from our show today, know that you have a say. Get out there and have your say.
Exactly.
And we'll see you next time on the Peet and Reet Show.
That was great.
That was super.